Good evening and welcome to ReCharter 2021 for the 2022 year. Well, I know we're all getting ready to get back to school and hopefully coming out of COVID here and coming home from summer camp this year. And with that time of the year comes ReCharter. So first thing I'd like to do is explain to you how to get to the Mount Baker Council Internet ReCharter page. The first way to do it is just to go to mountbakerbsa.org, and that's the page I'm on now. Scroll all the way down and click on Internet ReCharter. The other way to get there is just to go to mountbakerbsa.org/recharter. Again, that's mountbakerbsa.org/recharter. And now we're on the main ReCharter page for the council. Again, just like it says, hey, it is time to ReCharter. One of the biggest changes that you're going to notice for this year, if you didn't remember the change that we made last year, is we are moving ReCharter up. So instead of ReChartering to match the calendar year, we are now ReChartering basically, November to November. So that means that all of our kind of virtual packets are going to be due October 15th at 5 p.m. And then the actual ReCharter date is November 1st. And one of the things that we're hoping to do this year as a council, and it's taken a lot of planning from the commissioner team and the professional staff and the office staff, is we are hoping to post those charters in 1 month. And that would mean that we would, start the November 1st and get them all posted by December 1st. And that's going to be our goal. We're going to work as hard as we can to get towards that. And the other change that we're going to make is we're going to post them in order. So if you turn them in, if you're first, you're going to be the first unit ReChartered, and you're not going to have to wait, assuming there's not something wrong with your ReCharter. You're not going to have to wait for them to be done in another order. We're going to post them in the order that they were returned, or as close to that as possible. So the first thing on this sheet, this is the new packet. So if you get years past where you would get a paper packet, right now we're getting a website, and we thought that this would be the easiest way to show everybody to do it, because you could just go back and reference the website. And if we learn of any new information or anything we need to share with you, we will just update the website. So it will be updated and stay up to date. So that's one of my first things I want to say is, if you're coming to something that's maybe you figured out yourself, but you thought was a little bit hard, and we could have put an extra paragraph on the website to make it easier, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll share my contact info here in a minute. But please give us that feedback. We want to hear it, the good and the bad. And if it's bad feedback, we'll keep it productive, and we'll look at what we can do to better support you in the units. So hey, it's time to ReCharter. We've got 73 days and 22 hours down to that October 15th. I know it sounds like a long ways away, but keep in mind that goes quickly. So you're going to want to get this done as quickly as you can. So we've got a couple contents. The cool thing about this is, if I want to go right to payment options, it will just take me right there when I click on it. Or if I want to go to important info, it will take me right there when I click on it. So this is a kind of a quick link to get you down to the different pages on our ReCharter website. Below that contents there, we've got important contact info. That's me right there, Council Commissioner Derek Bovenkamp, and you can feel free to email me if you have any questions or concerns about the process. Otherwise, we have each district, their ReCharter team, the district commissioner and the district director. So as you're working on ReCharter, please work with your unit commissioner, please work with your district commissioner and district director on that. And, they'll certainly, if issues bubble up to me, they'll pass that along, but, do please feel free to reach out to me. We have some important notes, and I don't want to read everything, but I want to touch base on some of the bigger topics. So no packets, that's what I already mentioned. We're just using the website. You're going to have a unique access code that's going to be emailed to you. Well, let me be clear here. That is going to be emailed to the currently registered unit leader and committee chair. So that would be like Cub Master or Scout Master and committee chair. So if that is changed and who's there is not correct, please reach out to your district director and they'll help you get it squared away. But the codes are different, so don't try to use last year's codes. Look for that email coming out here in the next week or two. And when I say week or two, this is August 2nd. So in the next week or two, look for that email. When the recharters are completed online through the National BSA, you're going to have to do some uploading to OneDrive, which is similar to last year. We'll cover that. And again, our charter year is 12 months, November 1st to October 31st. And that trade-in deadline again is October 15th. We have some new payment options. We'll cover that when I get there. And beginning 90 days before a unit rechartered, future fees are now collected automatically. So if you have new adults or new youth that they're excited to join your unit, they're excited to join your pack, ship, or troop, they will automatically pay all those, not only the fees for the rest of this year, they're going to pay the fees for next year. Over on the resources, I just want to touch base on a couple things. We have a link to the Internet Recharter page. We'll get to that in a second. I do have some information here about the council fees and how those work. There is a nice site, if I jump to that will describe the cost of scouting and how the council fee plays into that. It's got a lot of Q&As that we heard were helpful from units. And we also have links to the opportunity fund, the family plan discount, and some scouting fees definitions. So I know that those questions come up in the units. Please check out that page. It does a lot of explanation if you have families that have questions. And certainly if you don't have something answered there, feel free to pass that on to your commissioners or myself directly. We also have the Journey to Excellence scorecard. This is the last year for Journey to Excellence. So I would encourage you, fill that out, especially, it doesn't matter what you can meet, fill it out and get that last Journey to Excellence. The Nationals will replace that with something. We don't know what it is yet. We have our own program that I'm going to talk about in a minute that is going to replace that, but this is the last year that Nationals is doing Journey to Excellence. So do fill that out if you can. And quick adult position worksheet. All right, so let's scroll down a little bit more. Steps to your successful recharter. These are the things that you should collect before you get started. Hey, who's all the youth in your unit? Who are the registered adult leaders? Are those the same in last year, or is there new ones? What scouts want Scout Life magazine? How many need the opportunity fund? And do you have all the money collected for them? So, and again, do you have enough key volunteers to charter your unit? So same thing, we're going to talk about youth protection here in a second. But does everybody have up-to-date youth protection? And again, you're going to need that access code. So read through all these, get that all together, and you can kind of proceed on. All right, I've got an important note here. For new youth and adult applications, we as a council and in districts, we want to encourage you as much as possible, please go to the online Be a Scout page and encourage them to go to Be a Scout, pay there, then you can avoid, the recharter paperwork, and they'll have paid. They're all up to date, they're all paid, all registered. So as much as possible, please encourage them to register online. We do have the new youth and new adult application. If for some reason that isn't possible for that family, you can do it here. I'm going to talk fees in a minute. The reminder, when you do it online, Nationals does collect all fees, the council activity fee and the national fees. And that's just the way it works online. So I really want to encourage you. It's easier for you in the unit. It's easier for us in the council if everybody does it online. If that's not possible, we do have the applications there. All right, step 2. So step 2 is you're actually going to begin Internet ReCharter, and I'm going to open that in a new tab here. You'll be able to log in here if you're a returning user. If you're a first-time user, you'll have to register. Remember, you're gonna need that code to go through Internet ReCharter. We have a nice link to the National Council has a good presentation on how to use that. This is how to do it all online. Important note about criminal background checks. So we think that everybody who's done this last year, the renewing ones won't need to come up with this form. If they do, the Internet ReCharter will tell you. So the online ReCharter is going to return that as renewing adults who need to give CBC authorization, criminal background check authorization. So there's a link to that right there. So just pay attention to that as you're working through ReCharter. And again, we think most people won't have to do it, but if you do, that's how you do it. All right. Hey, and when you're done with online, you're not completely done. Let's talk about payment options. And this is really important. So we have kind of three different ways to pay this year. One way is to pay nationals directly right through Internet ReCharter. And you could pay them with a credit card. They will take a 3% fee. Or you could pay nationals directly via electronic check, and that will include the council activity fee. That includes all the fees. However, we still recommend units pay the council directly by check. And the reason why we recommend that is if there's a problem with your charter, or you want to switch an adult leader out last second, before the charter is actually processed. There's stuff that we can do as a council. Once you've paid nationals, that is set. So if you've got Derek down as an adult leader and Derek decides last minute he's moving, you've already paid that fee. That's set. You can't replace Derek. You can add, you can add a new leader and pay for them, but those fees are already gone, and there's not a way for us to refund those. So please, we've got it here in bold. The preferred way to pay for ReCharter is to pay the council directly, and that allows us to, work with the unit if there's any problems. Now, if your charter's perfect and there's no problems at all, then you shouldn't have a problem paying nationals directly. But please do keep that in mind. I'm just going to recommend everybody, hey, just write that check right out to the Mount Baker Council and mail it, and send that PDF up in step 6. All right. We have a little bit of information here for families. So if you have more than the 2 youth and 2 adults, there is a way to save some money on the council activity fee. You can follow that. There's a worksheet there that helps you figure that out. Opportunity fund is a big topic for many families, and especially as we're coming out of COVID, there's a lot of our scouting families were hit hard, and one of the main things that we wanted to let people know there is, hey, there is an opportunity fund. We've got a link right here to the website. I'm going to open that up in my new tab and give it a second to load. Okay, so this website, this is on our Mount Baker Council website. It explains all the intricacies with opportunity fund, and then there's a link to do your application right there online. So there's information about the process there, but everything is online for opportunity fund now. So send those families online that are in need of the opportunity fund. And remember that the opportunity fund provides 50% of the national fee, 50% of the up to, so sorry, remember that it provides up to 50% of the national membership fee, 50% of the council fee, 100% of Scouts Life magazine. And that's the max of what it pays. One of the things that we're asking for, and again, this is we've talked with a few units and they all agreed with us, is it's much simpler if the unit can pay up front. So if you can pay the full amount up front for all of those families, and the council will refund you the money. We can refund you the money, even if you've paid online for the activity or the opportunity fund. But we're asking that you paid up front, because what we found out is there was a lot of families that said they were going to do the opportunity fund and needed it, and they only paid half, but they never actually went and did the paperwork. So we had parts where we were chasing units to chase families to get all that paperwork filled out. So please, if a family needs opportunity fund, have them fill out the paperwork before you submit the charter. If your unit can afford it, and our understanding is most units can, pay that all up front and just let that get refunded. Have those families just pay the half. Okay. No scout should be denied scouting for the inability to pay. So under the great majority of circumstances, most units can afford to pay up front, have their families do it. We will refund them their up to amount after that's reviewed, and that's different on every family circumstance what the opportunity fund will cover. But if that prepayment causes an undue financial hardship on the unit, please contact me directly. I've got my information there again, Derek at bovencamp.us, and we'll find a way to make that work. Also, we have a lot of units that, especially that first year before a scout has an opportunity to pay, help pay for stuff by selling popcorn. The unit may cover that other half, or part of that other half. If you do, and again, I'm talking very, special circumstances here. If you're a unit and you just don't have the money, and you can tell this family they really need scouting, and it's hard for them to even come up with that other 50%, or they can only come up with part of it. Please let me know. We have donors in the council that would be happy to help under those certain circumstances. But the great majority, I don't know the percentage, but the great majority, hey, prepay, and you'll get that money refunded as soon as we process your charter. All right, I think we've covered everything in payment options. Okay, hey, we're almost done. Hey, let's check that you have everything. Do you have your copy of that recharter report? It's not the summary report, it's the recharter report that you get from step 2. Do you have the payment amount from step 2? Again, we're recommending you don't pay online. You definitely can pay online if you have a nice clean charter, but if there's any question, write the council a check, and it'll allow us as a council to work with your unit and make sure that we don't run into any payment problems. Okay, any activity fee? Again, the council activity fee, family plan, any of those filled out? Again, it's not on here, but I'm going to remind you, any opportunity fund families, please make sure that they've gone and filled their opportunity fund. If step 2 asked you for criminal background check authorizations for any of your adult leaders, let's get those filled out, get all those together. Unit training report. So again, I don't have it on here, but we want to see that 100% youth protection. As many of you know, the national BSA is it's not set in stone yet. They're working towards a settlement, and we would hate to have any youth today endangered or abused in any way because we weren't educated enough. And that's not just in scouting. You know, obviously I take the training myself, and, you know, I found that's great for outside of scouting. You know, in any other place where you have your youth, you know, it is great to look out for those things and make sure that we're protecting youth. Anytime that we work with youth, you know, whether it's our own children or our children's friends, we want to be protecting them. So make sure that you've got that 100% youth protection. Annual recharter signed by your chartered organization institutional head. So this is the institutional head. It's not your chartered org rep. So a lot of times in a church, this will be the pastor. I just want to make sure people know it's the head of the institution. It's who has permission to sign that. I suppose it could be your chartered org rep, but in most cases, they don't have permission to sign the recharter, your institutional head. So look for that ahead of time. Make sure you know how you can get a hold of them. Sometimes these recharters are held up as they're on a 2-week vacation and you haven't figured that out until the last step. So look for them ahead of time. We've got another chartered org agreement fillable just in case you need it. We've got it right there. And our Journey to Excellence form. All right, we are almost done. All right, step 6, and do this step last. Get all those documents that you've collected with step 5. Get them all together, especially if you've written that check before you mail it to Mount Baker Council. Take a photo of it, take a PDF scan of it, put it in with this, and upload that to the Mount Baker Council OneDrive. So we've got some directions here on how to do it. You're going to get the link and everything together. So once you've uploaded that, contact your district commissioner or district director. They'll confirm they've got everything, and then they'll do a quick review, and you should be hopefully good to go. This is last year's training meeting. This is where the video is going to be that I'm recording tonight. And one last thing that I will leave you all with is later this month, again, this is August 2nd, later this month, the council's gonna put on our new homegrown unit recognition program. We call it Row the Boat. I've worked very closely with the professional staff, and as we've laid this out, we are really excited about it. We got a link here to find out more about it, but look for that. We're going to have a launch night with that and a big Q&A session. And it's really going to help make sure that we as a council are all aligned together, and you know, we're rowing the boat together. So and it's focused on growing scouting as well, because, you know, I think we all believe we have our own youth involved in scouting, that the more youth we can get involved, the better. And the better where this world will be. So again, thanks again for sticking out through this and listening to my voice for this training session. And if you have any questions or concerns, again, please reach out to your district commissioner, district director. I'm also always available. You know, again, we're volunteer driven, and a lot of us have our own youth in scouting. So, you know, we're right in this with you. And I know that sometimes the district and the council, they can feel far away from the unit, but please remember, we're right in this with you. And if you have any questions or concerns, you know, especially the Commissioner Corps, we are here to serve you. We are here. It is your voice. You know, my number one job is to be the voice of the units and the scouts and the volunteers on the council executive board. So I take that, you know, responsibility very personally. And, you know, I want to be able to speak up for you. So questions, concerns, please send them our way. And we look forward to making this a nice, smooth recharter. And we're going to improve it every year. So the idea is we're going to do everything within our power to make it easier every year. And thanks again, and have a great evening, and scout me in.